What's going on, everybody? My name is Aiden and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, there has been a little bit of news in relation to, I guess, a player that we've been trying to trade for a while now, and he is a player that does fairly well in terms of stats. He's a 20 and 10 type of guy, or, maybe not these days anymore, but still a very good, phenomenal offensive player, has good playmaking to his name, was very good efficiency-wise last season, and did a lot of things right for the Chicago Bulls. Yet somehow, some way, the reports are not looking good for this player, and it's not looking good for the Chicago Bulls either. Today, I want to talk about Nikola Vucevic. I want to talk about certain things that have taken place, some of the rumors that we are seeing, and ultimately whether or not this will lead to anything for the Chicago Bulls and whether or not these rumors truly have any merit. But before we get any further, if you like the video and you want to see more from me, drop a like, drop a follow, and or subscribe if you are new, and let me know what you guys think about Nikola Vucevic and I guess everything that's kind of taken place with him thus far. And the reason why I'm talking about this today is because there was a recent report that suggested that if the Chicago Bulls cannot find a trade for Nikola Vucevic in the near future, they will consider buying him out before the season begins. Now, many reports have suggested this, even though I find it hard to believe that that's what the Chicago Bulls are going to do. All that being said, that's the latest update when it comes to Nikola Vucevic. So if there is no trade, there's 29 other teams and not one of them are interested, we would consider buying him out. That is a big statement to make, ladies and gentlemen, so I want to discuss it. First and foremost, I will say the obvious thing here. I truly believe if the Chicago Bulls want to get a trade for Nikola Vucevic done, they can. And you can't tell me that it's a better option to buy out Nikola Vucevic and get nothing in return than accepting the most mediocre deal in the world to get him to a different team. I'm going to put my hands up and say it. Vucevic, yes, I get it, is on 20 million per season, and he doesn't have great defensive instincts. He has never had great defensive instincts, and he probably will never have great defensive instincts. I get it. If you're looking for a defensive-minded center, you don't go with Nikola Vucevic. But you can't tell me that there's not one team interested in Nikola Vucevic and not one team that would even try to lowball the Chicago Bulls to get Nikola Vucevic. And you can't tell me the Chicago Bulls would not accept a lowball offer rather than buying him out. To me, it makes absolutely no sense, this entire outcome, this entire report for the Chicago Bulls. So I'm going to instantly say I don't necessarily believe what is being told right now. What I think is going to happen is that if we don't see Nikola Vucevic get traded during the offseason, he will begin his 2025-2026 season with the Chicago Bulls as the starting center for this Bulls team. I've truly believed that in my heart. The only way Nikola Vucevic does not start his season with the Chicago Bulls is A, he gets traded, or B, he asks for the buyout and he demands the buyout and he creates a big fuss about getting the buyout. And I just don't see Vucevic as that type of person that's going to throw a hissy fit over a buyout. I just don't think it's going to happen. So all things considered, I just don't think this is going to be a big problem for the Chicago Bulls. And I just don't see these reports actually coming true. But let's discuss it. Let's discuss it just a little bit more here. So let's just say the Chicago Bulls do find a trade for Nikola Vucevic. And let's just say it's a trade that they're not willing, or maybe they just don't want to accept. Someone explain to me why a buyout would be a better option than that. Maybe there's no draft capital. That could be a reason. Maybe the contract that we would get back in a certain trade, it's better off just letting him go for nothing than getting a bad contract here. So those are two things right there. But all in all, I think if we're at the stage where we are just going to flat out buy him out, if that's the report, we would accept any offer. And if this is true, the Bulls should be accepting any offer, should be accepting second-round picks, should be accepting mediocre players, should be accepting just anything that comes their way. Even if it's cash considerations, it's better than just buying him out. It just doesn't make sense to me. But maybe there is no team. Maybe there's out of the 29 teams that the Chicago Bulls could trade to, maybe not one of them is interested in Nikola Vucevic. And you know what? It's possible. Again, 20 million is a lot of money. even though he's on an expiring deal. A lot of people might not want a center that can't play defense, you know, especially out west. There's a lot of really gifted, talented centers, and maybe to counteract that, you need someone that's going to play some defense for you. Or, for whatever reason, the Bulls are playing ridiculously hard and playing hardball on this situation, and therefore, no team is able to come to an agreement. So let's just say there's no team interested. I stand by what I said months ago about Nikola Vucevic. If we don't trade Nikola Vucevic for the Chicago Bulls now, we're going to allow him to play for the Chicago Bulls this season. He's going to be starting for the Chicago Bulls this season, and the only possible way that he gets that buyout is probably after the trade deadline, around the trade deadline. Once it's official that the Bulls cannot get a trade for Nikola Vucevic, that's when I see us trying to buy him out, or maybe him requesting the buyout. Let's just say we suck so bad this season, but Vucevic is playing unbelievably well, our best player, something along those lines. A team that might not be interested now, could be interested then, could be interested in the future, and is willing to throw the kitchen sink at it to try and get Vucevic into their team. It's a possibility. And if there's no team interested then, no team interested now, then the Bulls are not going to give Vucevic $20 million for not playing. We are not the Milwaukee Bucks. We don't just gift players their 5-year contracts and waive them, 3 years before their contract actually expires. We're not the Milwaukee Bucks. We're not going to disrespect players like that, and we're not going to do that to Nikola Vucevic either, because financially, we are losing money on a player that's not actually going to play. It doesn't make sense. The Bulls are very financially conscious. They're going to want Vucevic to play and earn that type of money. So I personally just can't see a way where this is a realistic outcome that the Bulls buy him out right now. I can't see it. So, ladies and gentlemen, wherever those reports may be, I've heard a couple of Twitter accounts, I've seen a couple of reports, a couple of articles about it. It's not like it's been quiet. There's a few people suggesting this could be the outcome. I don't see it happening. And I would question the Chicago Bulls if they actually did do this, rather than going down that patience route that a lot of us think that we should be going down. We're not in a rush. Whether we trade Nikola Vucevic now or we keep him and we wait till the trade deadline, the fact of the matter is, we are not going to get significantly worse or better with him on the team. He adds value to us offensively, and he'll make us better offensively, but he also makes us worse defensively. We're probably going to be a play-in tournament with Nikola Vucevic. We'll be a play-in tournament team with him, and we'll be a play-in tournament team without him. That's just where we are at the moment. So we shouldn't just rush into this and make very rash decisions. We should be patient. Unless Vucevic decides, you know what, enough is enough, and he goes full on at it and requests trades and makes this as public as possible, that's when you start to make those quick decisions and you try to get him out of the team ASAP. But if he doesn't do that, and I don't think he will, we should be patient. There will be a team interested down the line, especially for a player on an expiring deal. And if we're going to get lowballed, it's better than accepting nothing. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Anyway, thank you for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay tuned for more. Take care. And peace.